These masks are gonna cut down on selfies.
We are live. Yeah, I've got to share the Zoom. Yep.
All right, it's 6:04. We're going to call the Wabash City Schools Board meeting to order. Roll call.
Everyone's present.
All right, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. One nation.
We always begin each by reading the Wabash City Schools mission. Provide the relevant education on relationships to ensure each student is college and career ready for success in a global community. I'd like to welcome everybody that's viewing online tonight. No recognitions, no revisions. Item H, consent agenda. We got minutes from our July 20th meeting, claims, donations, and no financials tonight. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second,
Motion and a second. Discussion?
Yeah, I just want to thank the anonymous donors for the Hungry Kids Fund. That again, and just Melanie uses that, and when students are not able to pay their lunch fees, and so really appreciate those anonymous donations.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next regular scheduled board meeting will be Monday, August 17th, 2020 at Wabash City Hall, Wabash, Indiana at 6 p.m. We have a few items of communication. Old business. Approve the extension of the following administrator contract. Salaries for the 2020-2021 school year will remain the same as 2019-2020.
I move to table this.
We have a motion to
A second.
table and a second. Discussion. All those in favor of tabling the vote on the administrator's contracts, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's been tabled. New business. Approve recommendation to make Sam Hipskin the Director of Safety for Wabash City Schools with a yearly stipend of $5,000 beginning the 2020-2021 school year.
move for approval.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion.
Yeah, I would, this is a long time coming. Back in, and just to give a little background, back in 2012, after the Sandy Hook tragedy, Mayor Van Landingham had the vision, and I really think courage to come forward right away and say, I don't know what the right thing is to do, but we need to do something. We need to lead with intention, and let's figure out something, not 6 months from now or next school year, but right now. And so early on, we just talked about getting an officer in the district and getting around. And again, for everybody who was part of a school system or had children at that time, or just were aware of what was going on, it was a frightening time. And Sam was one of the officers. We were like, this guy needs to be a part of this. And the reason why is, and when we first talked about it, was having a school resource officer to deter anybody from doing something stupid violence against children or staff members or school. And so it was a deterrent, but greater than a deterrent was the relationships. And that's one of our pillars. We talk about that. And Sam Hipskin can build relationships, has done it for a long time as a Wabash City Police Department officer. And so Sam Hipskin was our guy. We used several officers that had rotated through, but Sam has been there from the beginning and has really built a program recognized across the state. He's done a lot. We talk about helping out our neighbors and our colleagues in North Manchester and in MSD, and Sam has led that charge as well. He's been a part of the state organization and also the national organization, and continues to be an advocate for safety. One of the other things that I loved about what he's done is started a student. Again, we're students first. We're focused on students, and he has created a student safety committee. One of the things they identified right away were the lights in the football field, and we worked with Mr. Maxwell to get those changed out and get that better illuminated safety wise for kids that are being dropped off after athletic events late at night. And so Mr. Stone and I talked about it, and we felt like if we could find, especially if we could find something in a grant, a small token of our appreciation along with the title of Director of Safety. And so he is still a Wabash City Police Department officer as our school resource officer. It doesn't change that, but as our Director of Safety, we created the stipend position. And so he's going to be and has been involved in drills and all the conversations that relate to safety. And so that's what this position will be.
Any questions for Mr. Callahan? All right, if not, all those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One abstention.
And one abstention. Motion passes. Item B, approve the attached additions to the 2020-2021 athletic handbook. We have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second? Discussion?
So the only thing in this handbook is Mr. McWhirter wanted to get it in writing what the criteria is. So it's not changing the criteria. Criteria has been you are either a medalist, and the difference between a state qualifier and a state medalist is so you could qualify for state in the 400. And if you're not in the top 9 runners in the 400, you don't receive a medal. So you remain a qualifier. For wrestling, if you qualify for that opening night and you get beat that opening night, you're not going to receive a medal. You win that opening night, you go into the medal, what they call the medal round. That's a medalist. And so forever we have qualified it, 25 years?
Yeah, maybe longer, but about 25.
We did a north-south for team sports. So if you were made the north or south football team, because again, it's not an individual sport, you also would get your picture up there. And that's what we've done. One of the things, they started doing class, and they started having individual coaches association, all state teams. And so that was a little different. And so we're just qualifying basically what it has been with the understanding that Mr. McWhirter is going to work to, again, try to find a way to still recognize our finalists and those individual coaches association. It's just going to be different because we're going to run out of room. If we recognize all those kids in those large pictures, we're not going to have enough space within a couple of years. So we're trying to find out a digital way to be able to recognize finalists, medalists, and in all those coaches association. So that's what this is, just to clarify until we can find our committee, our athletic committee can bring something more inclusive to us.
Any Other discussion? All those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item C, accept resignation of Rhonda Nelson as cafeteria employee effective July 27th, 2020.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
And I think, see through really, probably M, we'll see a lot of changes, and we see that in our classified staff across the board. And so certainly want to thank Ms. Nelson for her time and service, and everybody else who are leaving us. And I would also say, and we see this a lot in the cafeteria or in our paraprofessionals, one of the things that I think Melanie Honeycutt's done a really nice job is keeping part-time cafeteria staff, so that when we do have people that resign or retire, we've got kind of that bullpen, or that I don't want to say minor league system, but I'm excited to have baseball back. So I feel like using baseball analogies, but so we have that system to bring those people forward. So.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item D, accept resignation of Tristan Viger as cafeteria lunch aide effective July 20th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
Yeah, and Miss Viger was also as a para, but she's going back, committing more time to school, and our hope is that we'll be able to rehire her in early education when she's finished.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item E, accept resignation of Cody Waldron as cafeteria employee effective July 21st, 2020.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second. Discussion?
Yeah, thank you to Ms. Waldron for her time and service with Wabash City Schools.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item F, accept resignation of Claire Booth as cafeteria employee effective August 5th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and second. Discussion?
Thank you to Ms. Booth for her time and service.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item G, approve recommendation to move Vanessa Blair from a part-time cafeteria position to full-time as cafeteria office manager effective July 20th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion?
Yeah, congratulations to Ms. Blair. And again, this is what we're talking about. So you'll see those part-time positions move up. And it's also a great opportunity to be able to see, the quality of their work in that part-time and be able to reward them when things open up. So.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item H, approve recommendation to move Wendy Sheridan from a part-time cafeteria position to a full-time cafeteria position effective August 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion?
Just congratulations.
All right. All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item I, approve recommendation to hire Stacy Kellogg for a part-time cafeteria position at WMS effective August 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
Yeah, just congratulations to Ms. Kellogg. Welcome.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item J, approve recommendation to hire Kelsey Smith for a part-time cafeteria position at OJ Neighbors effective August 10th, 2020, pending background check.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion? All right, all those in
Yeah.
favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Motion pass, or opposed? Motion passes. Item K, approve recommendation to hire Brandy O'Donnell for a part-time cafeteria position at LH Carpenter effective August 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
And a second. Discussion.
Welcome, Brandy.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item L, accept resignation of Teresa Coe as special ed paraprofessional at LH Carpenter effective July 22nd, 2020.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
motion and second. Discussion.
Just thank Ms. Coe for her time and service with Wabash City Schools.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item M, approve recommendation to hire Nicole Feigert as preschool teacher at LH Carpenter at a rate of $13 per hour beginning the 2020-2021 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second.
I just wanted to say, and really coming from Miss Wilson, Miss Feiger did a fantastic job at LH Carpenter. And so we're going to welcome her back for this year. And I'll give that update on LH Carpenter and in our enrollment here in a minute. But
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item N, approve recommendation to move Paula Merriman from secretary to bookkeeper at a rate of $14.30 effective August 3rd, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
yeah, again, as we continue to build out LH Carpenter, it makes sense to provide her with the bookkeeping responsibilities. And so we'll be asking her to pick up where I think Ms. Hipskin has been doing them at OJ and where Ms. Esslinger's been doing things at the central office. And so it makes a lot of sense to have it at the point of entry where families are connecting. Paula knows the families and also gives her an opportunity to receive more compensation.
Will we be hiring a secretary then?
No, she'll be doing
Oh,
both.
doing both?
Yeah, and if like Ms. Hipskin is both at OJ, I mean, that's pretty standard.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
So will, another question. Will she be the sole, is she the sole office personnel over there with Kathy?
Yeah, for now, yeah. And again, we're talking another year before kindergarten comes over too. So
So once kindergarten goes over, then
I think it's time to reevaluate. I don't know, I don't think we can say that we're gonna, right, from this point.
Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve recommendation to transfer Carrie Mertz from temporary kindergarten teacher to fourth grade general education teacher beginning the 2020-2021 school year.
so moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, and Miss Mertz has done a fantastic job in the places she's filled in at Wabash Middle School. And so I'm glad to have her at OJ.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item P, approve recommendation for Kim Hodson to work for WMS as an adjunct teacher at a rate of $2,040 per class for each semester, two for the 2020-2021 school year.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion.
Yeah, Miss Hodson, I think for a couple of years now, and she's also helped out with some of our foreign exchange programming, has done a really nice job for Mr. Mattern at the middle school. And this is a capacity that she has filled in the past. And so glad to still have her to be able to provide this to our kids.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item Q, accept resignation of Stacy Harold as assistant principal at Wabash Middle School effective July 21st, 2020.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, really happy for Stacy. He thank him for the time and service of Wabash City Schools and Wabash Middle School specifically. It was his first year as an administrator, and he did a really nice job, I know, for Mr. Mattern and for the middle school. Hated to see him go, but he also has an opportunity at Bluffton to move up through the ranks a little faster than he might at Wabash City Schools. And we wish him the best of luck.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve recommendation to transfer Michelle Campbell from secretary at OJ Neighbors to library aide at Wabash High School at a rate of $10 per hour, 40 hours per week, beginning the 2020-2021 school year.
So moved.
Motion
second,
and a second. Discussion?
Yeah, Ms. Campbell did a really nice job at OJ, working in the front office, and she certainly has big shoes to fill with Mrs. Cooper. So certainly welcome her in that capacity, and it's certainly a coveted position. I mean, you really get to work with some really gifted kids in that position, and there's some really great programming that Ms. Forrester does in the library over there. So, and that Jeannie really put together. So congratulations to Michelle.
All those in favor of approving the transfer, say aye.
aye,
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item S, approve the following ECA positions for 2020-2021. Key Club co-sponsor Jacqueline Hawley, Best of the Best co-sponsor Michelle Campbell.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, and again, I think we approved Mr. Benish's retirement from well-deserved retirement from Key Club, and so good fill in with Miss Holly. I think we've already talked about how we were able to bring her back after she was able to get her guidance counseling license and degree, and really we want her to be a part of Wabash City Schools. And so she'll be a fantastic Key Club sponsor. And then again, the best is the program that Jeannie really built. And and I'm sure she'll help Michelle out as much as possible, but that's a great program.
All those in favor of approving, say aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion passes. Item T, approve recommendation for Justin Denny to receive the stipend of $1,000 for completing a 10-day training to become certified to teach PLTW engineering.
So moved.
second,
Motion is second. Discussion.
Yeah, and Mr. Denny is in charge of our project Lead the Way. That's what PLTW stands for. This is, again, an engineering program that Mr. McWhort brought to us many moons ago. And Mr. Denny has taken over. Training is pretty extensive and takes time. And so that $1,000 is probably doesn't quite do justice, but it's a small token of his time that he's committed to that training so he can be certified to offer PLTW to our kids. So thank you to Mr. Denny.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion passes. Item U, approve Nicole Feigert as the online instructor for LH Carpenter for the 2020-2021 school year. This position will be paid at a rate of $750 per semester, $65 per student per 9 weeks.
So moved.
Motion
second,
and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, and again, I think this a tribute to what Miss Wilson thinks of Miss Feigert, to be able to, and again, Wabash City Schools to offer this online. Feel like we really listen to our constituents, our families, who 14% said they wanted something 100% online, and so we're going to offer PK-12 online, and so Miss Feigert's going to fulfill that preschool programming.
All those in favor of approving, say aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve recommendation to hire Emily France to teach music at LH Carpenter 2 times per month at a rate of $10 per hour beginning the 2020-2021 school year.
second,
Motion is second. Discussion.
Yeah, actually, I think this is Emily's third go around with Wabash City Schools. We'll take her back anytime she'll come back. She always does a fantastic job. Anybody that knows Mrs. France knows she's a perfectionist, highly qualified individual, and she will do a fantastic job providing music at LH Carpenter.
All those in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion passes. Item W, approve Anna Godalmez for the second grade dual language Spanish teacher at OJ Neighbors for the 2020-2021 school year at a rate of $13 per hour pending background check.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second, discussion.
Yeah, and so we're hopping to fill that second and third grade position because of COVID. Visas were slowed down, and so the husband and wife team that we hired for second and third grade were unable to get visas in a timely manner to get here by August 11th. I really applaud Mrs. Delgadillo and all her efforts. I know she and Mrs. Tracy have been doing a lot of interviews. We have a lot of candidates, and this is the first one. And Senora Godamez is working on her full license credentialing, which she will have at least by the end of the year. And so this will fulfill the second grade position. Third grade to be determined very soon.
All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item X, approve the following athletic changes for the 2020-2021 school year. There's a lot of them listed. I will take a motion to approve all as one group.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, discussion.
Yeah, just thank everybody for their time and service to the students and athletic programs of Wabash City Schools. We really provide or pride ourselves on offering so many opportunities. And, you look at this list I come back to that unified sports director. A couple of years ago, we had no unified sports, and now Ms. Smith runs that unified sports and does a phenomenal job. And Ms. Philippi was taking that to the elementaries. And so I just applaud all these individuals who commit time to creating opportunities to serve our kids.
All those in favor of approving the coaches, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item B, items from superintendent.
Yeah. First off, I really want to thank Mr. Vale. He's been providing weekly registration updates to our group, which are very helpful. Our registration a few years ago went online, and it's a bit impersonal. It's convenient, but it's impersonal. And typically we would see about 75 to 80% by this time registered via online. We're closer to 90%. This is some of the best that we've seen. If again, we're kind of waiting until August 11th until we see everybody, right? But right now we're projecting 30 to 40 kids above last year's enrollment, and so feel really good about that. I feel again that when we sent out that survey and we recognize we may have 200 kids whose parents want online, at least to begin the school year, I think that was valuable. And again, I applaud the leadership team. I applaud the teachers who stepped up, and I applaud the board for being willing to pass that. And I think it's paid off. We're giving people options, and people like options. And right now it looks like I said, we're up about 30 or 40 kids projected next week. So we'll see when they get here. AP score update, talked a little bit about it, but it's third year in a row we've seen increased scores across the board. And so I really applaud our AP teachers. We had the most, so when students pass 3 or more AP tests, get at least a 3, they're considered an AP scholar. We had the most AP scholars out of this class than we've ever had in the history of Wabash City Schools. And I think that speaks volumes of the work being done by, again, our AP teachers and also the programming and the commitment, the financial commitment to reward both faculty and students for their efforts on AP scores. Last Friday, we held the 147th graduation of Wabash High School. And as I said, still waiting on somebody to come forward to tell us we're wrong, that it was not the first one outside, but I think it was the first one outside. There's no written history. Catch up with Pete Jones sometime and he'll probably tell me I was wrong. But in recent memory, it is the first one we held outside. I love, and I go into a lot of kid open houses. I heard from a lot of parents how appreciative they were of the efforts of Wabash High School, of Wabash City Schools to make sure these things happened. And it was a beautiful ceremony. Weather held up. And so again, I want to thank Mr. Whelan, Mr. Galley, and I want to thank all the staff that came out to that too. Typically, we hold graduation right after we get out, and I was always so proud of our staff for the participation. We had quite a few show up, and late in the summer, that's not easy. So I applaud them who showed up for graduation as well. Reopening plans, I would encourage all our parents and all our families to go to our website, and there's a little COVID, it's kind of a little oval. If you connect to that, you'll find all the plans. That is going to continuously be updated. We met today, the entire leadership team, and we've tightened some of the details about lunch and getting around the buildings, especially at the secondary level. I feel very good about all our plans. Again, the key is to limit the exposure. First off, if we're wearing masks and we're social distancing, we've eliminated the direct exposure leading to the spread of COVID-19. When we stop doing that and we start breaking those rules, that's when we start getting in trouble and where we have difficulties tracing things. And so I can't urge enough to those families who are watching that it is so important to follow those guidelines. And again, we met with Mrs. Kelsheimer, our school nurse, and Mrs. Ballschmidt today, and we have rooms at every facility where if kids are sick, we're going to get them and then get them home. We're going to take this very seriously. And if they have any symptoms, not multiple symptoms, any one symptom, they should not be coming to school. And the whole guidelines are on our website. And so I encourage parents who have questions to go there first. If there are further questions, they can ask via that there's a COVID-19 email they can ask, or they can call the building principals directly. And so I feel really good about what we're doing. We know, again, this is not perfection, but we're going to mitigate the risk as much as possible. And so we continue to work with state and local health officials. And, one of the things that I heard from every parent that I saw at graduation and open houses and in the community, get our kids back in school. That's what I keep hearing. And we're trying to do that to the utmost of our ability and keep them in school. And so regardless of, none of us like these masks, it's really weird, but we're doing this so that we can eliminate the risk. And we can eliminate when there is a positive case, that direct exposure that could possibly shut a classroom or a building or the entire district down. So the last thing I'll say about it, and this is what we said all day today, is this is not indefinite. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That is not Jason Callahan, science guy, speaking, but there's got to be light at the end of the tunnel. I think everybody believes that, whether that's a vaccine or whatever it is. And so patience, perseverance, we'll get through this and we'll come out on top. Welcome back, right? So next week is actually this week. Thursday and Friday are teacher days, and then next Tuesday is our first student day. So again, we feel very good about our plans and excited to welcome everybody back this week and next.
Any update on Hagerman?
Oh yeah, facility projects. Yeah, on top of everything, our facility projects. Thank you, Mr. Kelsheimer. Things are either on track or ahead of schedule per Hagerman regarding our facility projects. I love sitting out there and you see people just. I'm surprised there hasn't been more accidents of it, because people go by. You really start seeing the football field, the Coolman expansion, even the connector. You can see the wall of the hallway on the connector taking shape, and it's only going to get better and better. Actually, LH Carpenter is I mean, I think you can really see it, but it's so kind of off the beaten path. But they're starting to brick the north side of that new addition. Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Merriman's office and reception area is taking form. I know they laid carpet in there today, putting in ceiling tile, and so they're working on that as well. But I think the plan is turf is going to be put down or start being put down.
Well, they're laying the rock and all the other stuff this week, and then probably sometime next week, you'll start seeing carpet laid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And the track. being
paving the track.
paved next week also.
Yeah.
So you'll see both of those things go on next week.
So it's exciting.
And the lights go up. I
Yeah.
think he said all three things next week.
I think that's it.
Any questions for Mr. Callahan? Not, items from Chief Business Officer.
Well, it's budget season, so first of all, I think I would like to thank the state and the governor, because when our numbers come out, he kept his word, and we're going to get to a point, whatever, 3% increase in new money, and so that certainly helps us, especially in these tough times. And so that was good news. Certainly no promises for the future, but for this school year, it looks good. So we'll start all the heavy lifting on the budget here in August, probably bring you guys the first round in September, and then get it all approved in October. And so, but so far, so good.
Questions for Mr. Stone? Right. Items from visitors. Have anything from the board, or from the building?
I actually asked Miss Wilson if I could go first tonight, just because we had a lot going on with the high school, and so she allowed me to. We did have a very exciting weekend, and I wanted to just thank a lot of different people who helped contribute to our graduation and our prom. Graduation, the Honeywell Center with AFLA, Jana and David, they were great to work with. Nicole Howard did our photography, and so those are going to be uploaded to our website. Joe and Julie and Mandy with the paper, being able to stream that live and also have a recording of our graduation is, the first time we've done that since I've been here, so I'm really excited about that. Mike and Angie Beecham, they were very supportive to allow us to use their yard for the staging area, and also for that access to the Honeywell house. The Denny's, Miss Saunders, Mrs. Dillon, all the work they did to help prep for graduation. And then, like I said, all of the video, the pictures from the event, as well as our senior video, which normally we show at graduation, that Maya Benish put together. Because it was an outside venue, we weren't able to show it, but Mrs. Callahan's working on uploading all of that to the website, so it should be available for people who weren't able to be there, or for parents who want to download pictures and print those off to remember the occasion. We also had prom the following night, and I want to thank Miss Sapusik and Miss Smith for all the work they did, Mrs. Ballard, Miss Millspaw, Miss Holly, Mr. Galley, and Mrs. Cole for helping to chaperone and decorate and those sorts of things. I'm very excited about the start of school coming back. Our custodial staff did an awesome job getting the building ready to go. Our guidance counselors have been making schedule changes. Obviously, we added Japanese a couple weeks ago, and so they're working on, transitioning students over, making sure that students are aware of that, and trying to, give our students that opportunity to take Japanese in this first year that we're offering it. Our summer school instructors did an awesome job. I think we were able to, some students recover some credits, some work ahead. And so we're in good shape there. And then also our online instructors for this coming year. This is the first year we're offering online instruction. And I know it's taken a lot of time on their part to learn how to do it effectively and to build out their courses. So I'm really excited about that. And then Mr. Burns, Mr. Mendock, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Denny all did additional coursework over the summer to be able to continue to offer some of the things that we currently offer. And so I appreciate all of their help as well. And then lastly, athletic coaches. I know that they're just chomping at the bit, ready to go, but they've had to make some pretty serious adjustments to what they typically do as well. So I know that they've put together some good plans to be able to provide a safe way for us to have practices and things like that. So I just want to really show my appreciation for their efforts as well. So that is all of my acknowledgments or recognitions I want to do tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler.
If it's all right with everybody, I'll follow suit. You're seeing a nice little square there of me because I'm at a baseball game right now. Didn't want to make anybody jealous. So if you hear the crack of the bat behind you, I apologize for that. But first of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Whelan and the high school office and staff that participated. This was a fantastic weekend. I think those of us who had students in those classes, in those experiences, it was a wonderful weekend. I really enjoyed the outdoor graduation. Just had a wonderful feel to it. So thank you to all of you who did that. To reiterate a lot of what Mr. Callahan said, we're pretty pumped and ready to go. Thanks to everybody, the custodians, the teachers, the online teachers, nurses, fellow administrators. I think we're ready to go. It's pretty awesome to see all the things that are in place in our buildings to help keep us all safe and keep students safe and mitigate as much as we can any spread of anything that could be negative for us. So just can't wait to get those kids back in the building, and we are ready to go. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Matter.
For OJ, I'm just going to reiterate what Mr. Whelan, Mr. Matter, and Mr. Callahan all said. A lot of people have put in a lot of hard work since we left March 13. And we're just excited to see everybody and to teach some kids. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave my picture off. My internet's not real good at home. But again, like Mrs. Tracy said, I'm going to iterate everything too. We're just very excited to see those little ones come through the door August 11th. And hopefully we get to stay in for a period of time. Thank you.
Kathy, do you want to update on numbers?
Oh, currently for the whole building, we're sitting right at 90. Both of our Title I preschool, Mrs. Selleck's class is at the cap at 18. Miss Arwood's class is at 18. Both of the we had a dual immersion, and we went from one class. Mrs. Ellett for 2 years have done it all by herself. We now had to split that class because we have 28. We have 14 and 14. So we will mimic what they do in kindergarten through third grade. 50% of their day will be with Mrs. Ellett, and 50% of their day will be with Mrs. Feigert, and then they'll switch. For Mrs. Hoppus and Mrs. Gunderman, well, we have actually a total of 6 students that are doing dual placement between Mrs. Gunderman and Mrs. Selleck, and 1 with Miss Arwood. I'm looking to see their totals here. He has 16 altogether. We have one student that she's just going to monitor. He's full-time with us. And then with Mrs. Hoppus, she seems to be adding kids a lot here lately, but she's sitting right now with a total of 17. But her door is constantly open. So we're excited.
Great. Thank you, Kathy.
Mhm.
Anyone else? I know, Sarah, I know you got on there. I will update, again, if you follow This Week at Wabash, oh, there's Sarah. Sarah, yeah, provided an update on our Japanese program, and again, Mr. Wheel and Kyle had mentioned trying to push that enrollment and make sure families are aware. I don't know how aware they are yet, but that'll be an awesome opportunity.
All right. If no other items from visitors, items from board members. Yep.
A couple weeks ago, they had football camp. I don't remember that being around when I was a kid. I just think it's really great that they get the high school kids out there working with the elementary school kids. It means a lot to the younger kids. Just, it's nice seeing things, a little bit of normality, kids out there playing again, so. Thanks to the football program and the athletic department for making that happen.
Coach Hanley does a fantastic
He
job.
does.
Rhonda,
Not at this time.
Tony?
Heartland graduated, as you know, the first class of CDL drivers. They are getting jobs. That's good. The precision ag class will be kicked off this fall, first one in the state. Heartland now has a electronic computerized weather station out back, so that's pretty cool. And they're ready to go. Curriculum's done, everything's in line, in place, so it's pretty exciting.
Stephen?
Not tonight.
I just want to thank Mr. Hipskin for all he does. He does an awful lot for our organization and school system kids, and I'm glad to see that we're able to do something for him. So I certainly appreciate that. Thank you to all that were involved with the graduation. I actually had people tell me that they wish that we would do an outdoor graduation every year. Not sure that could be tricky with weather, but it was very, very nice. And thanks to everybody that had a hand in that. And just welcome back, everybody. Thank you to everybody that's put things in place, all the extra cleaning, all the processes that have been put in place for our kids as we move into this school year. I know that this is going to be one of the most challenging years that anybody's ever been through, and I certainly appreciate everybody's hard work and willingness to make it happen for our kids. That's all I have. This time I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and a second. We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
You don't want to coach a call for it too? Might as well, you got 2 out of 3.